Well, that's a bit difficult to ignore, isn't it? Wow, hair. It's getting a bit wild, isn't it? So you can probably see from the title of this video, something that's come up completely unannounced on me. I was looking on VeloViewer, which is another app that I pay for. It's like 10 quid a year. Pulls in all of your data from Strava, of everything. It's wonderful. I'll put a link in the description actually. I noticed, God, it'd be about 3 weeks ago now, that I was just creeping up on 1 million calories, and I sailed past it again, completely forgetting. I'm not really sure what relevance it has to anything. It's just a nice number to have, but obviously it's been a bit sporadic, and I've got to take a lot of it with a pinch of salt, I think. Well, maybe, I don't know. The climbing, some days I think it fully overestimates what I'm doing, because on my watch I have to put gym cardio, but effectively I am working at that time. It's work, rest, work, rest, work, rest. So a 3.5 hour session, I'll do 1,000 calories, which sounds about right, doesn't it? You tell me. Anyway, yeah, say 1 million calories over 5 years, but I'm nearly up to 300,000 already this year, and it's not December. I'm projected to hit 340,000 for 2022, which is a bit nuts. I've not had many days off this year, but I'm feeling good with it. I say that. With it being like this today, and it being Saturday, out on the club ride today, I've downgraded myself from the black difficult ride down to the more social red one, because my legs are a little bit weary, but still going out and doing. I think it's a 44-mile route, stopping at a bakery for some chow and a brew, but it's good for resilience training more than anything else. This is what I'm trying to do, build up day after day after day after day, and then a day off, just to get some resilience in the legs. That's what it's all about, really. I'm sure it'll be fine next year, but I want to get used to it again. So I'm going to go and get the rest of my clothes on. As you'll see, I'm in full winter gear, because I don't think it's going to get over 6 degrees today, maybe, around here. I mean, it's stunning. Look, I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful day. But winter gloves are going on, because I get cold fingers quickly. They're actually cold here. Well, I am, as usual, hilariously early. It's 1:45. A couple of little adjustments to make, so that's all right. Wait here, it's a nice place. I suppose now's a good time to talk as any about training in winter. Obviously, I'm outdoors, it's getting colder. Steady on. Now, with the weather getting colder, it makes you feel like you're less thirsty, which is dangerous. My first 40-mile plus ride must be 4 years ago with Sam Taylor. It was like 2 degrees and we got hailed on a bit of snow. It was quite amusing, really. I virtually had nothing to drink and I bonked at the end. You don't realise that you're thirsty when it's cold, so you don't take water on. Now again, I've got my usual massive bottle of water and the same again of electrolytes. Probably won't use them all, but much rather bring them, A, because they're there and if I need them, they're there, and B, it's extra weight. Now this sounds stupid, but as you know, heavy bike means training harder, so when it comes round to lighter bike, it should be quicker. That's the theory. So I'm learning to ride heavy. I've also got my saddlebag on, which has got spare tube, toolkit, bit of mint cake, Trek bar, multi-tool, Crank Brothers pump I've mentioned. Obviously I'm carrying the GoPro as well. Yeah, and it's not the lightest bike to start with. So yeah, just a little tip for being in winter there. Make sure that you don't go thirsty, because it's just as dangerous. You just don't notice your dehydration as much because it's cold. So it turns out they've gone a different way. There's a diversion. Should have looked at my phone 10 minutes ago. I've got to get a wriggle on to catch them up now. Oh, look at this view. And as is normal for cycling or being around these back lanes, I've got the Postman Pat theme tune in my head. I know I've said this before, but this is where Postman Pat was devised, on the Burningside, Boston, Skellsmere area. Here we go. It turns out I've arrived before everyone. Shouldn't have rushed so much. Bakery looks good though. This is more bakery than Staveley on the mill yard. Hell of a queue, so it looks good. Oh, these beautiful roads. There we go, okay, that's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. There's no argument for this, is there? So, that's a lot done. The curve along Lonsdale Square. Time for me to get home. Here we go, look. Look at those views. That's all Lake District. Magnificent. Well, that was thoroughly enjoyable. It's nice to get the Kirby Lonsdale lot cycling into somewhere that I'm so familiar with. I didn't do it because of me. Don't be like that. But yeah, those are my very familiar roads. I adore them roads. The weather, it sucks. Lancaster's traffic sucks massively. I come to Lancaster Wall to do a spot of bouldering. Ignore that, I've not been fighting. I managed to cut my lip shaving. I know. Yeah, so it's round 2 of the Winter Bouldering League here, so I'm going to get on and try and do better than last time. We'll see how that goes, shall we? There's lots of slabs. It's usually a good thing for me. So, after Saturday's ride, I was bouldering all Sunday. Didn't show you any of that. Tried really hard. Got too sore. And I was going to run yesterday, which would have been Monday. I was going to run and then ride, but it's knackered. So I've been very sensible and had a day off exercise, which is the 2nd in a month. So yeah, trying to keep my own advice, and I keep forgetting all the time. So I thought I'd do that for a change. Oh no, what's going on here? Anyway, following on from yesterday's theme, which you just saw at the climbing wall, I was totally knackered. It was really busy there. I'm not sure if you could tell in the background, but it was absolutely rammed. I spent about 20 minutes down there on the auto belays, went upstairs to the bouldering room, which was just as rammed, and I was still just tired. I've got really sore fingers at the moment, sore skin, I've got a sore wrist, blah blah. It's the usual. I needed a day off, so I had a relatively short session there. We're moving on to today. Yes, I'm wearing a hat and a very thick thing. I've already been at work and been for a bit of a 5k run, which actually felt alright, you know. I wasn't expecting it to, but weather at the moment is crap, isn't it? But saying that, it was pretty perfect for the run, so I was quite happy with that. It was wettish, didn't get rained on for long, and I actually missed it near the end. I was getting a bit warm, getting slightly quicker, getting around that 25-minute mark. It'll come down in time, but what with plans coming up, I need to get that done a bit more. I've legged it home after that. Well, not haven't. I've driven home, sensibly. Cooked, eaten, got changed, and it's club night on Zwift now. This is one of the reasons why, you know, you burn a lot of calories. It's non-stop. But yeah, I need to take my own advice and have enough recovery time. I'm going to have a day off climbing on Thursday because my usual climbing buddy's away. She's gone on holiday. So I'm going to give my skin time to recover and concentrate on the bike. So hopefully tomorrow on the bike, if Friday on the bike. Might be test riding a bike if I can get a space in the weather at some point. Saturday, yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm struggling for time. You've heard that before, haven't you? Anyway, it's enough rabbiting on. I'm just, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's going to be weeks and weeks of just getting the miles done at the moment, and pairing in the running, especially because I've got a duathlon coming up. I can't remember if I've mentioned it yet, but I'll mention that in more detail in the future video. I'm going to crack on, get warm, get Zwift fired up, make sure we're all up to date on the club night, and get some miles in. I will catch you on the next one. See you later.